let's move ahead today and we will be installing MySQL today, which will be acting as a database. So let me start the machine where we left. So this was the last which we did, and this is the file. We will be coming on more commands of PHP in the later part. So let's go back. Okay, so now we will be moving ahead and we will be installing MySQL today. So for installing MySQL, this is advanced packaging tool -get. apt-get, and then we are installing what we are installing. It is MySQL-server, and pressing on enter, the same thing, it is collecting the packages and then asking for whether we want to continue or not. I press yes, so it starts installing MySQL server. We run sudo space apt-get space install space MySQL-server. So it will take a couple of minutes and it will install. Unpacking has been started, so it will be almost finishing it up now. As we see, the installation gets finished up and everything went successfully. So let's check it out whether MySQL has been installed or not. So there are two things which we will be doing is, in MySQL, we will be checking out about MySQL server and whether it is installed or not, and then what will be its username and password, because we have not given the password. Username is root because that is the username for the Ubuntu machine as well. So username will be the username of your machine only, that is root. Username will be root, and what will be the password that we will be setting up to this MySQL, and then we will be installing the GUI version of MySQL, that is called phpMyAdmin, and we will be accessing our database using phpMyAdmin. So these three things we will be doing now. So the very first thing, whether MySQL is installed or not, for that try login to MySQL. So how we will be trying login to the MySQL? We will be using the command line interface, and the command for the same will be sudo space -u. -u means username. What is the username? That is root, and we want to log in with -p, but we don't need or we don't have any password, so we are not entering as of now, but later on we will be entering the password as well. So simply what we are doing is we are entering the username and we will be skipping the password. So we'll be taking into the MySQL is left, so sudo MySQL, and what is the username? That is root. So sudo MySQL, we are entering with the username root. So enter the password. So password we are entering for this particular machine, LAMP. So you are able to see MySQL pointer pointing over here, MySQL logo. MySQL has been installed and it is working successfully. Now we will be doing is we will be coming on to password a bit later. We will be trying to create a database in it. Using the command line interface, if you want to create a database, then how to create that? You will be writing the statement create database and then give the name of the database, say testDB. Create database name followed by semicolon. You can give any name, the database name. So create database name followed by semicolon. Or you can write it in this way as well. Create, enter, database, enter, then database name, then semicolon. One and the same thing. Wherever you put semicolon, that whole will be treated as a single line, single statement. You press enter, you will be getting the reply as query is okay, one row affected, means database is created. To check whether the database has been created in MySQL or not, you run the command show databases followed by semicolon. Again, you can split this into multiple lines, or you can run it into a single line as well. So when you press enter, a list of databases will appear that MySQL has already into the system. So you can check it out. The heading is database, information underscore schema, MySQL, performance underscore schema, and sys. These four databases are already there in MySQL when we installed it. TestDB is the one we have created. Let's create another database. So create database test lamp followed by semicolon. So if we check this out, show databases, so you will be getting the test lamp as well into the database. Then to come out of this MySQL interface, I am using the command exit. So exit, press enter, you will be coming out of this MySQL interface. This is the way we are assessing the database in command line interface. If you want to assess the database in the command line, this is the way where you can create the database, you can show the databases, and you can create the tables as well, and so on. But for PHP, we will be requiring the GUI mode of the database. So GUI mode we will be doing with the phpMyAdmin. So phpMyAdmin, now what we will be doing is we will be installing phpMyAdmin on this Ubuntu machine. Why we are doing so? So that we can access MySQL database in the GUI mode. So how we will be installing? Sudo means administrator, then apt get install. This is basic, almost this is the syntax which every command supports. And what we need to install, it is phpMyAdmin. If I press enter, it again starts reading certain packages, and it prompts me whether I want to continue. I click on yes, and it starts installing phpMyAdmin. If you try exploring on the localhost and type here phpMyAdmin, you will not be able to find anything because it is not installed yet and it is not configured yet. During the installation, it prompted me which server it will be mapping to, whether it will be mapping to Apache 2 web server or it will be mapping to Light TPD server. So I need this for the Apache 2 web server. So I selected that particular Apache 2 web server and press enter. So during the installation, you can check it out. It is not asking me for any password. So username is root. What will be the password? We need to reconfigure the password. So two things to be noted on, that it is not asking for the password. So during the installation of phpMyAdmin, first thing it asks about which web server to use. I selected Apache 2. Then it prompts me configuration of the phpMyAdmin. That configure database for phpMyAdmin with dbconfig-common. You need to press yes. Then it is asking for the password, that is MySQL application password for phpMyAdmin. So please provide a password for phpMyAdmin to register with the database server. If left blank, a random password will be generated. So you type a password, say LAMP. I'm using the same password for the phpMyAdmin as well, for which is the password for this Ubuntu machine also. You can choose different, you can choose same as well. So password confirmation, same password, and pressing OK. Okay, so installation got successful. So let's check it out again by localhost / phpMyAdmin and pressing enter. But still I am getting an error saying not found. Requested URL was not found on this server. Why so? Because we need to configure this phpMyAdmin. So for configuration part, what we will be doing is, the first thing we will be doing is, we will be setting up the password. Because we need to check the configurations for the password as well. And second, we will be checking out the configurations of this phpMyAdmin with Apache. These two things we will be going to do, and then we will be having the phpMyAdmin working for us. Let's start with these things one by one. So first thing, after the installation of phpMyAdmin, again we will be moving on with MySQL -u and then the root login. This time I am not entering into MySQL with any password. I am entering MySQL with the administrator account, that is the root. Then I want to use MySQL. I want to configure MySQL. So for that, I am using use command for selecting which server I want to use. I want to configure. So I am writing use MySQL, and it says that reading table information and everything, and then the database changed. Means now the database is pointing to MySQL. So if whatever query I will be writing, it will be making an effect on this MySQL server. So I will be firing select query. I am selecting user, host, and plugin from MySQL dot user. So I am having one table MySQL dot user which contains the details of which user accounts are there in MySQL, which plugins are available, which hosts are available, and other related things as well. So if I press enter, it gives me a table. What this table says? It says Debian -sys -main. It is the host which is using this is localhost, and caching password is applied onto this. Whatever the password is available in cache, that password it will be able to log in with this. We are mainly focused with our user. Username is root, and we will be using it on localhost. That is also correct, because we are writing over here localhost itself. Localhost means this particular machine will be acting as a server itself. But the plugin is authentication socket. Authentication socket means we can bypass the password using the machine's password, like we did in the previous login, -p, and then it again asks for the machine password. Whatever the password is there for the authorization token, that will be applicable on this username. But we want a static password on this username. Static password means the password will remain same for every session. It will not forget the password. So we need to change this authentication socket to MySQL native password. We need to update this table with MySQL native password, because we will be assigning a password to MySQL account. So first of all, before assigning the password, we will be changing this plugin to MySQL native password. To change, we fire the update query. Update, which column we want, which account we want to update? User. what thing we want to update, that is plugin. So update user, set plugin equals to MySQL underscore native underscore password, where user equals to root. Why in single quotes I am entering this? Because this is a string. So pressing semicolon and then pressing enter. Now it says one row affected. Now if I again fire the select query, you can see the user is root, host is localhost, authorization socket has been updated with SQL native password. So whatever the password we will be having for a MySQL, that will be the password matching with this particular root account. Now the next step is to set up this password, MySQL native password, so that we can log in with the username as root and password which we have set up over here. So for setting up, we use the alter command. So alter user, what is the username? We will be user is root, and you can check it out over here. The user account is lamp @ the virtual machine box name. The same format you will be using over here, root @ localhost. So this is the username. Alter user, what is the username? Root @ localhost, and you are identified with, what is the plugin? That is MySQL underscore native underscore password. That this username is identified by this password. By then you can enter your password, whatever password you want to set for the root username for MySQL. That is for phpMyAdmin. Say I am setting the same password as lamp. So my query will be alter user, single quotes I am writing root, then @ again in single quotes I am writing localhost, space identified with MySQL underscore native underscore password by, in single quotes I am writing the password, that is LAMP, followed by semicolon. So if I press enter, it says query OK, 0 rows affected. So the password of this root account has been set as LAMP. This is the way we are referring to the user accounts in Linux. So you can check it over here as well. LAMP @ the name of the machine. This is the username @ the virtual machine name, the computer name. You must be having yours if you have given some username different during the installation. @ that will be the machine name as well. You will be having different name if you are given different username during the installation of this Ubuntu. Same way we are giving over here, root is the username, @ localhost is the machine. Localhost means this machine only, because we are using localhost over here, right? This is the machine. If you are having Apache server on some different server and you are installing phpMyAdmin over here, then you will be giving the IP address of that particular server, whatever it will be, and then /phpMyAdmin. Then localhost will not work. And here also we'll be giving the IP address for that particular machine. Since we are having our server on this machine itself, So we are using localhost, means server is installed over here only on this machine, and all the things are available over here itself. But that's why this localhost is used. You can use the IP address for the localhost machine as well. That is 127.0.0.1. One and the same thing. So this is the password which we have set. This is the username, which is the default username in the Ubuntu machine. So we have set the username and the password, and now we will be coming outside of this MySQL, and then we will be restarting our Apache server, restarting of the Apache web server. To restart, we will be restarting this MySQL database, right? So to restart this MySQL database, we will be doing stop and start. So sudo service, which service we want to stop, that is MySQL, and stop. So what is the password for LAMP? We entered the password, that is LAMP. So it is stopping this service. Now the service has been stopped, means database service has been stopped. To start this service again, type start instead of stop. So the command will be sudo space service space MySQL space start, and press enter. So MySQL will again start. The server will again start on this particular machine. This prompted me with the prompt, so means the server has been started again. So what all we did, we set the password for the root account for MySQL. But if we again go to the browser and hit localhost slash phpMyAdmin, it will not open, right? Because we have not configured phpMyAdmin with the Apache yet. To do so, what we will be doing is we will be moving on with the configurations of Apache. So let's open Apache configuration file in the text editor nano with the admin rights, right? So we'll be writing sudo space nano space etc space apache2 space apache.conf. That is apache2.conf. So when you enter this command, the configuration file of Apache web server gets opened in front of you. Yes, so this is the command sudo space nano space slash etc slash apache2 slash apache2.conf. Actually, these are all the directories. etc is also a directory. In etc, Apache2 is also a directory. In Apache2, apache2.conf is a file placed over there, which includes all the configuration settings for the Apache web server. I will be coming back to the directories, and I will be showing you where these directories are into your machine once we are finished up with this configuration part. So when you press enter, your configuration file will get opened, and in this configuration file, you need to move at the last. Scroll this file with the bottom arrow key. If you want to scroll it using some scrollers, you can. Move to the last, and at the last, you write command as include. What you want to include, that is phpMyAdmin. So slash etc slash phpMyAdmin slash then the apache.conf. Means what you are including? You are including etc is the directory, and you are including phpMyAdmin, and under phpMyAdmin directory you are including apache.conf file as well into the Apache configuration. phpMyAdmin, they are having only a single file apache.config, which is having all the configurations linked with Apache. So these two are different. Apache is different, phpMyAdmin is different. So we are including the directory of phpMyAdmin over here and Apache configuration file of phpMyAdmin inside the Apache configuration file of Apache web server. You can see over here we have opened Apache configuration file in Apache web server. And inside that we are including phpMyAdmin and apache.conf of phpMyAdmin. So to save this, we need Control X. So save modified buffer, yes. The same file name, OK, press enter and you will be coming back to the console. Actually, what we are doing is in the Apache configuration, we are including the PHP configuration for Apache mentioned in phpMyAdmin. Why we are doing so? Because localhost is not able to locate phpMyAdmin, whereas we have installed phpMyAdmin in our machine. So we have included Apache web server configurations, the file given by the phpMyAdmin for the Apache configurations. And now the last step, that is we need to restart the Apache server and we need to check whether our phpMyAdmin is working or not. So for restarting Apache web server, we use the command sudo space etc slash init.d slash apache2 restart. Pressing enter. So the service is being restarted. And now if I move on to the web browser, because we have completed the setting up of the password as well as the configuration as well. And now if I move on to the web browser and click on enter, I am able to see phpMyAdmin page. Localhost / phpMyAdmin. And it is prompting me for the username and password. If you are able to see the screen, try with the username as root and password that you set up in your setup when you configured MySQL password. I considered LAMP. So enter that particular password like I am entering LAMP and click on go. Once you will be clicking on go, it will prompt you to remember the password. If you want, you can click on save. If you don't want, click on don't save. So I click on save because I wanted the browser to remember this. Else I will be logging to this interface again by entering the password. So once you will be able to log into this machine, this phpMyAdmin, go to the database tab, databases, click on it, and you will be able to see all the database that we will be able to see during the command line interface as well. Remember, we created two databases, testdb and testlamp. So if you want to delete any database, say if I want to delete these two databases, testdb and testlamp, I simply select these database and click on drop. So it asks me that you want to drop these databases. I simply select OK. So these two databases are deleted out. If I want to create a new database, no need to go into huddles. Simply write the name of the database and click on create. So database is created. To check this, navigate to the databases tab. So if I navigate to database tab, it came into the structure tab. So let's navigate to the database tab, and I am able to see the new database created. Fine. So if you want to work on command lines, the MySQL is there. I have shown you how you can work on the command line interface using the MySQL database, but I prefer you to use phpMyAdmin because this will give us everything. The view of the database is there in the GUI mode. Right, the user accounts are there, the SQL queries are there. If you want to fire any SQL query, you have this interface where you can write the query and you can click on go. Right, you have the usernames, you can create the tables and everything. You can even import and export your databases as well. So this phpMyAdmin will give a great privileges to you in the GUI mode. So all must be using this phpMyAdmin as a database for managing the database. So which database we will be using? We are using the MySQL database, and we are managing MySQL database using phpMyAdmin. You can do the same thing using the terminal as well, but for terminal you need to remember the commands, you need to remember the login and the syntaxes and all. So to avoid that, we use phpMyAdmin as the for managing our database. So with this, we finishing up with the LAMP architecture. We have installed Linux, we have installed Apache, we have installed MySQL along with the phpMyAdmin, and we have installed PHP as well, and we are able to work on PHP file as well. So if you remember, to open any PHP file, simply click on localhost / the name of that particular file. This is what we did. So last one thing is use the simple commands to explore more about Linux. Like ls is for the list directory. So this is your home directory. So if you come back of come outside your home directory and then you click on ls, so it will give you your username. Again, if you come back, it will give you all your directories over here. So remember, we are using this /etc/initd/this/etc/apache2. So where this etc is available, so you will be able to see this etc over here. So if you want to move into the etc folder, simply click on simply type cd etc. So now you are inside the etc directory and press ls list directory. So these are all the contents of etc. So there you can able to see Apache 2. Apache 2. So that is what we are using over here. And if you want to move inside the Apache 2, simply write cd space Apache 2 and then press ls to see the contents, and you can able to see this Apache 2 configuration file which we were using out over there, right? And if you want to move into the phpMyAdmin in ECT, so you can see under P. So this is P. So you can see PHP. So PHP is also there. And if you navigate to, okay, we will be coming up to the PHP a bit later. phpMyAdmin is there. So if you want to move into phpMyAdmin, cd space phpMyAdmin and press ls, you can see this apache.conf. Admin, the file which is being there is apache.conf, and this is not the file which I or we have created. This is the file which is there when we installed a phpMyAdmin. It is given by the installer itself. So that's why I include this apache.conf into the Apache 2 configuration file. This one, Apache 2 configuration file. So that's it from my side.